Parshas Re'eh. The Torah in this week's Parsha contains many restrictions about what kind of offerings may be brought, when they may be brought, whether it's permitted to bring individual korbanos, individual offerings on bamos, for example, on private altars. And there are different times that have different restrictions. And there's also restrictive language about what things may be eaten, how they may be eaten, not just laws of kosher, what we call kashrus, but there's also foods that may be eaten only in the Beis HaMikdash. It says, Lo suchal lechol b'sharecha. We're talking now in Perek Yud Beis, Pasuk Yud Zayin. That's 12:17. Lo suchal lechol b'sharecha ma'asar degadcha b'siroscha b'tzarecha. Of course, you may not eat within your gates, the meiser, the tithe of your grain, of your new wine, of your oil, of your firstborn, of your herd or your flock, or any of the vows that you make, or free will offerings, or the wave offerings of your hand, Trumas Yodcha, but rather you shall eat them before Hashem your God. Ki im lifnei Hashem Elokecha, tochlenu b'makom asher yibchar Hashem Elokecha bo, at the place that the Almighty will choose, meaning whatever mikdash it is, whether it's the whatever holy place, whether it's the ultimate temple in Jerusalem, or whether it's the mobile sanctuary referred to as the Mishkan, as the tabernacle, which was in several different places before the building of the permanent Beis HaMikdash in Yerushalayim. So it says that you should eat it at that place, these restricted items. You, your son, your daughter, your male servant, your maidservant, and the Levite, the Levi, who is among you in your gates, meaning in your area. And now here's the portion of this verse, of this pasuk, that I would like to focus on. And you shall rejoice before Hashem your God in all that you put your hand to. What does that mean? What does it mean that you rejoice in what you put your hand to? So there are a number of commentaries on this. The commentary of Rashi is that this is talking about, according to the Meforshei Rashi, the Rashi commentaries, this is talking about somebody who is bringing a voluntary offering, not one that is whose quantities are mandated and whose types are mandated, but rather one where there is some measure of volition as far as how much you bring. So Rashi says that if you are blessed, so lefi habracha haveh, according to however you're blessed, you should bring. In other words, if you have more, you bring more. If you have less, don't bring more, bring less. The Vilna Gaon, the Gra, in Aderes Eliyahu, says, expands this. And he goes beyond strictly karbanos, beyond offerings. And he says, when the Torah says, v'samachta, and you will be happy, you will rejoice. Lifnei Hashem Elokecha, b'chol mishlach yadecha. Mishlach yadecha means your reach or your grasp. The outstretching of a hand is mishlach yadayim. You grab something, you bring it over. So he says, whatever you can grasp, whatever you bring towards yourself, you should rejoice before God. In other words, b'chol maso matan u'b'chol yonechem. In all of your business dealings, in all of your matters, whatever you grasp, you should rejoice before Kodesh Baruch Hu. And Reb Shimshon Raphael Hirsch says that this is referring to your success in life, your material success in life. You should rejoice in the notion that the Almighty has been the fuel for your engine of success. And He has enabled you to succeed in Mishlach Yadecha, in your ambition, in your achieving that towards which you aim. So this goes beyond the technical of how do we design and configure, structure the offering, but rather it's a one might say Weltanschauung. It's a worldview on how one should respond to material success, which is to be happy about Lifnei Hashem, before God, to ascribe to God credit for one's success. The Ksava Kabbalah has a radically different approach to this. He says that when a person gets excited from something, it causes him and it causes him joy or happiness. It has the effect of provoking an external manifestation through, for example, laughter, singing, whooping, dancing, jumping with joy, or other outward manifestations of inner happiness. This is automatic, and it's unthinking. When somebody hears good news, when somebody experiences something good, he gets excited, he gets happy, he gets animated. Now, if this is private, if it's a private thing that happens, a person will tend not to be overtly demonstrative, but he might celebrate in private. And then there's a more disciplined and what he calls artful way to express this joy. And that's like, that would be like speaking in a more formal manner, articulating one's happiness, using one's resources to configure, let's say, poetry or professional singing to a beat with harmonies, songs of joy and gladness. And this is the connection of song and hallel, of praise. And it's a projection of joy. It's not just an experience of joy, but it's a projection of joy. And he says that's mishlach yodecha. And he says the word yad here does not mean hand, but rather it comes from the same word as hodah or hakol yoducha. Yodecha means, mishlach yodecha means the projection of your thanks through all manner of expression of joy. Whenever we get something, we channel our satisfaction, our joy in a way that is a manifestation of, an outward manifestation of our joy. And we use it to connect to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. When viewed in this context, the verse reads as follows, or at least the portion of the verse that we're talking about. V'samachta lifnei Hashem Elokecha b'chol mishlach yadecha. And you will rejoice, you should rejoice before God in a projection of thanks. You should give public thanks to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. You should be demonstrative in the way that you thank, that you praise, that you rejoice, that you celebrate before and with the Almighty. Bring the Almighty into your success, not only in a perhaps dry but accurate way of saying Baruch Hashem, but rather getting excited and showing the joy that you truly have and bringing HaKadosh Baruch Hu, the Almighty, into your joy. This is what the Torah asks us to do. Have a good Shabbos.